I'm Brent Johnson, and today I've come to the University of North Texas. We're continuing our little trek through Texas here, visiting organs that will be used at the AGO convention coming up this summer. With me is Malcolm Matthews, who is the professor of organ here at University of North Texas. You're relatively new at the school, aren't you?
That's correct. I was hired just last July as assistant professor of organ and harpsichord.
Okay, so you're getting to know this organ just like we are here. You've been here a little while. I know you've performed on it a bit. Tell me about this instrument. What have we got here?
Well, this is a 60-stop Wolff, originally constructed in 2008, with a little bit of work done recently to voice it up and make it match the space a little better. But an instrument that's largely Central German in its inspiration, but I think with some concessions to France and the sort of eclectic repertoire that it needs to suit, and choral and orchestral accompanying that it must do.
I see some French names over here, despite all the German things.
Yes.
And this hall it was built for this hall relatively. I mean, the building was new when this went in.
It was, in fact. Yes, so here we have the organ just in the back.
All right, well, it's a beautiful case. Everything's right here in front of us, all mechanical action with electric stop action. So I want to hear just some parts of it. Let's start with the great division.
Sure.
Tell me what we have. Let's start with the principal chorus, building it up.
So we have principals 16, 8, 4, 3, 2, and then a 5 and 6 rank mixture.
Okay, let's hear those together.
Sure, here's just the 8 foot to start. Maybe the 16, 8 and the mixture.
Bright, sparkly chorus. It strikes me, standing here right next to the case, that it's not real forceful. It's a pretty gentle sound.
It's not. You know, the grate is way up at the top and speaks sort of out into the room.
It's probably going. Most of us is going out.
Yes, exactly. As is typical, this is sort of the worst seat in the house.
So they're hearing it out there on the microphones, right? So
yes.
What else do we have in the grate then after the chorus?
So we have quite a few 8-foot flues, Gemshorn, Salitional, 2 flutes, dessous de flûte and flûte traversière.
Okay.
And then a few reeds as well.
Let's start with those string stops. I want to hear those. Yeah, pretty mild.
Yeah, and then lovely, this flute has a lot of sort of treble ascendancy.
Okay.
So.
Lovely. What's the name of that flute?
Flûte traversière.
It's a traversière. And then we have another flute. It's the dessous de flûte.
Dessous de flûte. This is normally used in conjunction with others. It isn't a full compass rank, so that normally just sort of added in with some of the other flutes.
Gives you a little more foundation sound. Or
yes, exactly.
Yeah. Hear just a little bit in the middle range, just to hear what it kind of quality it adds. Extra body to the ensemble.
Absolutely.
Okay. And then we have some other stops there continuing up.
Sure, we have a fagot 16, trumpet 8, the enchimade mounted in the facade, of course, and then a 4-rank cornet.
I want to hear the cornet first. Just assuming that's mounted as it should be, up nice and close, because that's more piercing than the rest of the principal chorus. It really comes out.
Yes, absolutely.
Where
and
we
if
are,
you're using sort of all of the forces of the organ, if you just need a little sort of pop and sparkle on top of all the reeds, the cornet will provide that.
Okay, let's hear the reeds then. lovely reeds in there.
Yeah,
Lots of
absolutely.
power.
Lots of good color there.
Okay, let's go on up now to the positive division, and tell me what we have here.
I would say this is definitely the most Germanic division of this organ. So we have Holzgedeck 16, four 8-foot flues, a Suaviol, a thin-scaled principal, Rohrflute, Quintadena 8, and Undamaris, two 4-foot flues, octave and Rohrflute, two rank sesquialtra, Dulcian 16, Crumhorn 8, and then sort of rounding off the top, 2-foot super octave, Sifflute 1 1/3, a 4-rank mixture, and trumpet.
It's a big positive division. We have a lot of colors there. Let's just start doing the same thing. Build up a little chorus, starting with the 8-foot.
Add the 16 and the mixture.
Yeah.
Bright with that
Big
mixture.
and
isn't
bright,
it?
but it's
Yeah.
also right here,
Right
in front
here
of
on our
us.
face, yes.
So for us, we're getting the full effect of it. But
Right.
yeah, definitely, I can see how that combines with the grate then to give you an even brighter.
Yeah. So we have the Rohrflute 8 and Quintadena, and then lovely Rohrflute 4 as well.
Let's hear those flutes by themselves first.
Sure. With the 4-foot.
Oh, very nice. I'm going to hear the Quintadena by itself. Yeah, very colorful. Quite a contrast to the other flutes.
Yes.
Okay, and then what else do we have going up?
So we have some solo colors, obviously, right, for the positive. The Crumhorn and Dulcian 8, two short-length resonator reeds, and a Sesquialtra.
Let's hear the reeds each by themselves. Yeah, a lot of body in that one.
There's the Dulcian.
Much thinner sound compared to that big Crumhorn. So yeah, nice to have the contrasting colors in there. And then a Sesquialtera that can go on top of our flutes and give us a little cornet sound. Yeah, nice piercing color there, just like the grape. Okay. And then 8-foot trumpet, yes. Another buzzy German-sounding trumpet in there. All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're right. A very, very Germanic division there. Lots of colors, though. It's
Yeah.
it's a lot to choose from. So, okay. From there, we'll go over to our more French-leaning racy or swell division. What do we call it in this one?
I think we do call it réci.
Okay.
And positif if you like, or positive.
Yeah, yeah.
Depends on your feeling that day.
Depends on North Texas accent you're going to use. Let's start with just 8-foots here in this division. Tell me what we've got.
So we have, of course, our French fond, not named as such, but diapason 8, corde nuit, viol de gamba, and flute harmonique. with a celeste also, of course. And then our 2 4-foot flutes, a flute octaviante and prestante. Our 2-foot harmonic flute octavin, a 5 to 6 rank plein jeu. Our 2 flutes, of course, the mutations, Nazar 2 2/3, tierce 1 3/5, and then a full complement of reeds, starting with basson 16, of course an oboe and trompette, both 8-foot, voix humaine 8, and the clairon 4.
We got everything you need. Let's just do the same thing. Let's start with this the chorus here on the inside of the swell, starting with our 8-foot diapason. Different combinations give you all those just
really,
slight modifications
really
to
nice
the ensemble.
Yeah.
Okay, let's hear just the string and its celeste there together, just to see how they sound. Gentle and lovely there. Okay.
For my taste, this could use a little more strings.
It's not quite as French as the name implies, but it's good with the rest of the instrument. Okay. Let's talk about our principal chorus here then, starting with that diapason and then building up.
All right.
Really caps
it does,
a very gentle principal chorus. It's not, I mean, part of its distance from where we are. Again,
of course, right up at the top and in
there.
the back.
But I mean, even just the diapason by itself is a very mild sort of principal sound. But I like it a lot. It's very pretty.
This plan really works well, actually, to couple down to the great in some circumstances.
Mm-hmm. Use it to brighten there as well. All right. Let's talk about these other flutes then. We've got a flute octaviante at 4-foot, which I assume can go with either of the other flutes.
Right, of course, yeah. The 8-4-2 combination in particular, I think, is really, really nice. And you know, on this Germanic organ, sometimes can be a substitute for harmonic flutes on the Oberwerk. You know,
right.
Little imagination.
Let's hear these. And then we've got a tierce and Nazard we can add to that if we want to make a little bit of a cornet over here.
Absolutely.
All right, well, let's talk about the reeds from here. I want to go on. We have trumpet harmonique for our 8-foot.
Yeah, we can hear some of those.
Fiery French sound in
absolutely.
there. And then we have a clairon that goes on top of that.
Of course.
Yeah, very fiery and forceful there. And then, of course, a 16-foot bassoon to go underneath.
Of course.
I want to hear it's a bassoon hautbois.
Yes.
Combination style.
Quite a bit of bite to it, I would say. Franck would wish it would
Well,
blend
yeah, it's
with the phone maybe a little more.
definitely more German sound.
Yeah.
I like it by itself. It's very colorful,
It is.
and I'm sure it makes a lovely solo style. But
Yeah.
it doesn't really play well with the flues.
Nice round body, certainly by itself.
Well, these are so gentle, and the flues are so gentle in their quality that I think they have trouble fighting with that big,
Absolutely.
piquant oboe there. But I really like it. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It doesn't quite work for Franck. And then continuing our French, we have a voix humaine. That's what you needed to do. All right.
Exactly.
All right, well, let's talk about the pedal division. We have a lot of stops here. Are there things borrowed, or is it all independent?
It's all independent.
Okay.
Yep, big pedal division, as you might expect, for that sort of Germanic influence.
Yeah.
With some concessions to France again here with some of our reeds. Sort of German and French reeds.
Okay, well, let's build up that. We have a nice 16-foot principal, which I believe is here in the facade.
Also pretty mild. Octave. Four on top.
We have a mixture.
Oh,
On top
yes,
that
of
here.
course.
Yeah, you can hear mixtures here at the front of the organ, some of it in the case. It's all very speaking right into the room very clearly. So,
Sure.
okay.
We often add some of these flues to beef it up a little bit, 16 and 8, sometimes even this violon 8. Just give them more roundness.
Yeah, it fills it up a little bit. And then is it Untersatz 32?
Mm-hmm.
Does a good job of shaking the organ loft up here.
It does.
Okay. Tell me about the reeds now.
So, sort of two sets of reeds. As I said, France is present in 32, 16, 8, and 4. And then two sort of more Germanic influenced reeds, the Stielposaune 16 and Trompetenbass 8 foot.
Okay, well, let's just start at the top of the French reeds and build our way downwards to that 32.
Sure. Really nice.
Yeah.
Pure clairvoyance.
Very clear sound there, okay?
Yeah, love that. With the 8 or by itself?
Just add the 8 to it.
Sure.
On our 32.
Finally.
A lot of power in those 4 ranks. Okay, very good. And then we have German, more Germanic, 16 and
So
8.
here's the Trompetenbass.
Nice. Yeah, very clear and then speaks promptly, but it's definitely a very
Yeah.
different sound. I can see that working really well underneath those, all of those, that chorus in there.
Absolutely.
So, all right. Well, this is an amazing instrument. It's got some little quirky things from, Germany and trying to
they
be
all
French.
do,
They all
right?
do, but it just speaks wonderfully into the room, and it sounds great in the room too. So
Well, thank you.
it's a good match of the instrument and the rooms. But I want to hear a little more of it.
Sure.
This organ is very compact for the number of ranks that are in here, but it's easy to access everything. There's simply a door in the side of the case. The first thing we see are the pedal reeds, the big 32s back here. Pedal action there. The pedal stops are on the side. There's the slider motors for pedal stops. The chest is above us. This ladder can be moved, and once it's out of the way, we can continue down through the organ. See a panel that's really hard to read with all of the builders' names. More pedal stops here across the back of the organ. And here we are at the console. And our coupler stack. Getting as close a look at that as we can. And the pedals at the back. And here we have a ladder that I believe is for helping to access the top of those 32s. So now we're going to go back where we came in. And that ladder will be swung into position so we can go up to the first level. And here we are. And you can see we can get to the tops of the reeds from here. And here's one side of the pedal division. Some wooden pipes behind us here. These doors lead us into the positive division. The reeds are here at the back, the crumhorn and trumpet and the dulcian. We can see the trackers and roller boards for the swell and grate which are above us. So I close that, and then there's a ladder at the opposite end. There's the other side of the pedal. And looking down where we were earlier, we go up these steps, and we are on the second level. And the first thing I notice is the walkboard had to be cut to accommodate this one stopped pipe. But this little door gets us into the back end of the swell. And we're looking at the C-sharp side of the entire swell. Like I said, it's very compact. One very skinny walkboard to get you across. And there are the shades. And the front of the swell box does have panels so you can access the tuning wires on the reeds. We see the Vox-Humana there, and the oboe and trumpets behind it. And then in the middle of the swell, there's another door that gives you access to all of these flute pipes, all arranged very compactly. That's one side of the swell. Now, if we continue past the swell, we see we have a trapdoor walkboard that lets you access the pedal pipes down below if you need to tune some of those. And then right here we have the grate with our mounted cornet tubed off with clear plastic tubing. I hope that works out for them. As we head back out, there's another trapdoor on this side for the pedal pipes that I didn't even notice when I came up. But that's the organ. Malcolm, thank you so much for introducing me here to the Wolff organ in the Murchison Performing Arts Center on the campus of University of North Texas in Denton, Texas. We're just outside of Fort Worth, and that's where the convention is going to be held this summer, and there'll be some great more than one concert here on the campus of UNT.
Yes, absolutely. You're so welcome, and yes, we look forward to welcoming you to our campus July 3rd for the morning concert here in the Murchison, and then afternoon concert in the main auditorium on both the Moeller and Bedient.
Yeah, so that's going to be a great day here in Denton. There's information about that on the Fort Worth AGO website, which is linked down below. There's also information about the organ program here at UNT down there as well, and you can find out lots of information about all the other instruments they have here. So go down there and find that. While you're down there, make sure you're subscribed to our channel because we still have some more instruments from Fort Worth here coming out, so you'll want to see those. So make sure you're subscribed and click the bell for notifications so you know when those videos are out. Until that happens, though, we have streaming classical organ music on our 3 stations, OrganLive.com, Positively Baroque, and the Organ Experience. Thank you again. This has been a fantastic experience to get to see this instrument and hear you play. And I hope you all enjoy the convention. And until then, I'm Britt Johnson. Thanks for watching.